Hot tracks on the beat.
Meet up in New York City. I am Abby Harris, your host today.
What up, what up? Welcome to Beyond the Blockchain. I am your host, Abby Harris. Happy April Sunday. It is April 28th. Welcome to Beyond the Blockchain podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Today, we will be going over topics. Bank shuts down by U.S. Earn 300K arbitraging credit cards. Bitcoin faces imminent devastation. Phoenix wallet to disable service in the U.S. Two crypto that will reach $100 billion in market cap. Best cryptos to buy right now. Autonomous Racing League and price dump Apple Vision Pro. And yes, this is Beyond the Blockchain. If you haven't had a chance to be a part of Web Network, it is the community of resources. This is where I provide all of the resources that I find, whether you're trying to build in this space or you're trying to figure out the space. It's all learning information there for you. Moving on in our space. Guys. This is the final Bitcoin consolidation. I don't know if you have been gathering your Acorns or you have been doing your due diligence. There's a lot of stories out here. People turn few dollars into millions, or a few dollars into hundred thousands into millions. And it's all based off of strategy. It's all based off of things that you're interested in and figuring out how it can work for you, especially knowing with the past history and where things can possibly go, the potential. That's what's the most important thing. So let's have our favorite crypto Bitcoin analyst talk about it. Talk about a crypto
being ever so slightly above that mean price, and yes, most likely over the course of the weekend we're going to be hovering around this price. And if we're going to be seeing any significant price surges or a significant price drop over the course of the weekend, we're expecting that, of course, at the beginning of next week here on Monday or Tuesday, we're most likely going to be filling up this gap here. So this is, of course, how it usually goes every single weekend, but right now we're just creating a massive new consolidation phase here on the 4-hourly time frame. I mean, for the first time we've been seeing that bounce from the lower side, so we're starting to see that we're creating a potential new upper sloping support line, and you can see that clearly. Boom, we've got 3 bounces from off this exact level right here, and also more than 3 touch points from the top side. So Bitcoin is creating a clear new consolidation phase, and it's just moments before we're going to be having another massive breakout. So whenever Bitcoin does break, of course, above either the resistance or either below the support, we are going to be seeing that next direction for Bitcoin getting called. And yes, if I'm looking at the 12-hour time frame, we can clearly see that after we've been seeing this long consolidation, we're getting clearly squeezed up for Bitcoin. And whenever Bitcoin is squeezed up, we tend to see very explosive moves here, either towards the up or down side, and that is, of course, the thing we've been waiting for, right? We're still in this consolidation phase. It is boring. We want to see some moves, and yes, in my perfect scenario, Bitcoin is going to see first another retracement towards the downside, and then I'm going to be opening up my long positions, and then I'm expecting the bounce higher. So I mean, I'm very much aware that Bitcoin could already break higher from off this point, but my ideal scenario is that Bitcoin breaks down, fills up my orders here on the lower side, and then I am okay for Bitcoin to be rising once again back towards the upside, because I think it's going to be inevitable that Bitcoin is going to be bouncing up higher again, because yes, we are in a bull market, we're creating a massive bull-like pattern, the funding rates are currently negative, which is indicating and revealing us that the majority of the traders are actually trading short, and that is making myself extremely bullish. And on this consolidation phase, which we are seeing, the funding rates are coming lower and lower, meaning that there is less euphoria in the market. People are thinking that Bitcoin is actually going to go lower, and that, of course, makes myself extremely bullish on the market. And while all this is happening, we are also clearly seeing that the majority of the liquidity is being built up above us. And yes, whenever Bitcoin hits 67.4K, we're going to see an approximately $2 billion worth of Bitcoin short liquidation. So there are a lot of things playing out currently on the Imminent short term, but of course, if you've been following the channel, you already know these things are playing out, and all we need to do right now here is just be a little bit more patient before this breakout is actually happening. So if you want to be trading this breakout, check out Bybit in the link description of today's video.
So you just seen what he just said, right? That there's a potential that's going down. He's sitting at his little rate where he wants to do in a huge bet. So, sorry guys for the brief interruption. What I was basically saying is, now what you're going to basically see within the market, right, within the news, it's going to be fear, right? It's going to be a lot of fear. So before we even dive into that, let's talk about these prices, because we're still hovering around 63,000. I don't know where you at or what your mindset is as far as you're gathering your acorns and seeing the potential. There has been a lot of sideways movement for the last couple of days. There hasn't been nothing exponential that's going crazy. But like I said, when things are down, it means a sale. You go in there, you figure out what works for you, and you do your due diligence, right? That's how this thing works. Due diligence, find out what works for you, gather your acorns. Don't take no financial advice from me, because I'm not giving you any financial advice. This is just things that I like to talk about, that I feel like there might be opportunity that you can take full advantage of, especially with something protocol. And y'all know how I feel. I feel that if there is a way to take an opportunity, then you take it. Moving on into our space. Bank shuts down by U.S. regulators in first bank failure of 2024. U.S. regulators just announced the first bank failure of 2024. The FDIC says it has stepped in to protect $6 billion in assets and $4 billion in customer deposits at Philadelphia bank-based Republic Bank. The assets will be immediately handed over to the Fulton Bank, a former rival that's also located in Philadelphia. You know how upset I would be if I was this bank and I had to turn over all my assets to the rival. This is something that I will be completely triggered about. Concerns about the health of the bank industry at large has persisted this year, triggered by fears over industry exposure to the troubled commercial real estate market and unrealized losses on U.S. treasuries. Moving on. How to earn 300K arbitraging credit card points and legally avoid taxes. This is interesting. The loop of lucrative returns. An experimental physicists creatively use Amex cards to buy Visa-prepared gift cards at grocery stores, earning 5% cash back. When the IRS demanded taxes on these earnings, he successfully argued that the credit cards are cash backs or discounts, not taxable income, and won. The credit card arbitrage typically involves leveraging 0% introductory APR offers to invest in higher interest accounts. Mastering the art of credit card arbitrage can feel like finding a hidden treasure map in the world of finances, but it's not for the faint-hearted. Let me tell you about a guy, an experiment physicist no less, who turned a concept in his head. His story is basically a David versus Goliath tale, battling the IRS and winning. I'm just curious on how he did it. That is my curiosity. It says the fees of buying gift cards and converting them into money orders were peanuts compared to the cash back he was raking in. We're talking about net gains around percent per cycle, which adds up to a cool 300,000 to 310,000 in profit. That's not chump change on any stretch. I'm curious how he did it. That's all I want to know. How he did it. risk and rewards credit card arbitrage. Now, if you think about trying to credit card arbitrage, you need to understand the basics. It usually involves taking advantage of 0% interest introductory APR on balance transfers. You transfer a huge sum to the new card, then invest the money into something like a savings account or a CD, which earns you a bit more interest than what you're currently paying on the card. But here's the catch: you need to be on point with your payments. One missed payments, and not only do you not get slapped with a late fee, but your sweet 0% interest rate could skyrocket to 30% faster than you could say bankruptcy. Suddenly, you're paying about $4 a day interest on the initial $5,000. And if you think that can pull your money out of the CD early, think again. There's a penalty for that. Okay, for example, if you make $100 of interest, you expect the government to take $24 if you are in 24% tax bracket. I'm gonna be honest with you. He's a physicist, right? You know what this is, right? This is a mathematical equation that he did, that he sat there and he figured out a little gap that it worked for him. I personally don't think I have the patience for this. Like, you gotta be very meticulous to do this. It sounds good, though. It sounds good. That's all it does. It sounds good. But is it possible? Understanding that everything ain't for everybody, and certain people could do things that other people can't do. Is this feasible? Do your own due diligence, figure out if it works for you. Moving on. Final warning as Bitcoin faces imminent devastation. Okay, what does that mean? As Bitcoin continues to trade in its consolidating phase below 65,000, technical indicators and historical performances suggest that the maiden cryptocurrency might be on the brink of significant capitulation in the coming months. In particular, trading crypto experts Alan Santana analyzed in a TradingView post on April 27th, Bitcoin could drop over 50% from its current price to 30,000. Now, I'm going to tell you, if the price drops down to 30,000, that means that there is a sale going on, because there's no way that Grayscale, BlackRock, JP Morgan, all of these institutional investors is going to allow their ETFs, to go down that low. Anything is possible in these days. We all have seen it. We've seen this thing go from 68 down to 20,000. We've seen it. We've been riding this wave for years. But are you doing your due diligence? Are you collecting and saving your profits? Are you taking profits? Are you taking profits? That is the question. If you've been paying attention to my show, you've been paying attention to strategy, taking profits is one of the most important things that you can actually do. So you don't ride this wave all the way up and you seeing your portfolio going up and then all of a sudden, gone. But if you took profits, then you wouldn't have that stress because you'll be ahead of the game, right? Moving on. Phoenix Wallet is disabled service in the US. I already know why it's disabled. It's disabled most likely because of some SEC rules, right? Or something along those lines. Let's see. Phoenix Wallet, a Bitcoin wallet provided for Lightning Network payments, has announced its impending removal from the U.S. application store. The development comes as wallet founder company NSYNC and criticized the regulation of self-custodial wallets in the U.S. Phoenix Wallet terminates U.S. service over regulatory discrimination. Haha. This wasn't hard to figure out. U.S. federal, which causes against engaging in unregistered crypto money transferring businesses. We already know this. This isn't like something that we're just figuring it out. Like 2016, Bitcoin was an ICO heaven, okay? And a lot of rug pulls during the ICO heaven. I just seen something that just went across my pape, and I'm just curious to see it is. Being in ICO heaven, right? There's been a lot of rug pulls, a lot of information, right? So I kind of understand the regulation part of it. But the abuse of power is not what I don't understand. This came across my wallet. Walle co-founder arrested in alleged $100 million money laundering scheme. Department of Justice collaborated with the Internal Revenue Service Criminal Investigation and Federal Bureau of FBI. He got all the three letters on him. The indictment unsealed of DOJ reveals wallet of crypto mixing service allegedly conducted more than $2 billion in unlawful transactions, earning millions of dollars in fees. What I don't understand is if we all know this is all illegal on this part of the soil, right? Why are you not going to some international country to where you're not going to have to deal with none of this? Not saying that money laundering is legal; it's all illegal. But you know, I'm just saying. Moving on. 2 cryptocurrencies to reach $100 billion market cap. Those 2 cryptos are, drum roll please. We already know Solana is definitely one, and BNB Chain. So if you're not in this mix, then I don't know what you're doing. That's all I got to say. Moving on. Bonk, Pepe, Hetero, H-Bar, best cryptos to buy right now. What are the best cryptos to buy right now, Ab? Bonk, Pepe, Hetero. Why? Why is it the best cryptos to buy right now? Why? Do you know why? Let's go to the conclusions. Oh, look, Z-Beck. Let's go to the conclusions. Let's go. Okay, this is why. And today, guess what we're going to do? I haven't done this in a minute.
This provides investors and crypto enthusiasts with immediate access to funds and tokens, granting immediate financial control, and fostering a more inclusive and accessible financial environment.
You ask why? That's why. That's why these are the best cryptos to buy. Moving on. Okay, guys, here we go. Hold on, let me pause this for a second. In the first autonomous racing league, the struggle was real, but move flow, but things that... Now, this is what I am going to say about this. Car racing can be dangerous, but now you're saying you're car racing in autonomous vehicles on AI and all of this other stuff, and is controlled by joysticks. So this is a real life video game in real life. That's what I'm going to say it is. Hopefully there's no music and I don't get flagged.
And then there's another big run down towards turn 9, past the support.
Well, let's go to the top. They're going to flag me without question. I'm going to get flagged for this one. It's all good though. Isn't Aspire a video game? Let's see. The first race in Dubai Autonomous Racing League took place in Yas Marina, Abu Dubai Grand Prix Formula One today. I'm pleased to report that the race both began and ended. Both events were not without strife. Far from it. During the qualifying trials, the driverless Dollar Super Formula races outfitted with camera software seems to struggle mightily to compete a full lap. Now, this sounds like a bunch of guys on joysticks. That's what it sounds like to me.
to motorsports events across the world. What do you make of this one?
I've been to many here as well, but I've never seen anything like this. Autonomous vehicles lapping pretty quickly around the circuit is quite amazing. It really is a world first.
Well, as we continue to learn what A2RL is together tonight, our very own Steph Wentworth went to find out more.
Welcome to the Abu Dhabi Autonomous Racing League, A2RL, which brings together the exciting impact of artificial intelligence and its incredible potential for autonomy. Teams of scientists, coders and developers from around the world will be incorporating cutting-edge technologies into racing vehicles, all with the aim of reshaping the future of mobility through extreme sports. The A2RL racing car is based on the Dallara chassis used in the Japanese Super Formula series. It has a 4-cylinder turbocharged Honda engine, a 6-speed gearbox and slick racing tyres. Oh, and it can reach speeds of up to 300 kilometers an hour. But the interesting part is here. A2RL cars won't have drivers, they will be completely autonomous.
This car is a Super Formula car. As you know, Super Formulas are the second fastest car after Formula 1. Altogether, the car drives itself. Each lap generates like tens of gigabytes of data from all the sensors we have.
The A2RL car has many sensors. The GPS system is used to self-localize the car. It's a dual antenna GPS, one antenna on the nose, the second above the virtual reality camera pod near the roll hoop. This allows the car to know where it is on the track to a very high precision, within tens of centimeters.
Is this cheating? I just want to know, because as a car driver, you try years and years and years of driving, learning, and experience. But I remember that they had the first video game car driver that actually won a Formula 1, right? Now you have autonomous vehicles. I guess it's good for the safety of the drivers, but this is like a real life video game. This is like a video game in real life.
Radar sensors send electromagnetic waves into the air. These bounce back from obstacles, and by counting the time the waves take to go to obstacles and come back, the car estimates the distance to obstacles around it. LiDAR sends out an array of laser light and also counts the time for it to bounce back. That allows the car to make a dynamic 3D picture of obstacles, both moving and fixed, at a very high frequency. So the car generates pictures of its surroundings hundreds of times per second.
Oh, now. It's autonomous. But what if they add AI into this? Then, I don't know, man. This doesn't seem right, because more of this is a mathematical equation with the computer figuring out space, time, and distance, right? Space, time, distance, and speed, right? And if you have an AI that can calculate this, then this is kind of like cheating all the way across the board. That's the way I'm looking at it. Or it's whoever has the most money can get the most sophisticated tools to enhance their car. So this is like a video game in real life. That's what I'm seeing this as.
Each car has 7 cameras, 6 at the front, 1 at the back. The car needs this many for a system called camera lock, which the teams can develop so the car can detect whenever it is passing or being passed, and tracks the car from camera to camera. Inside the car, there is a computer, which is the brain of the car. It takes in all of the sensor information, uses its high-end GPU to understand its situation, and decides what the car will do next. Each team will get an empty computer to write their code, and that is the ground where they will compete.
See? Mathematical equations. Each team will write their code, and that's where they're complete. This is not the same as fun, or it's not the same as American Muscle. That's what I'm looking for. American Muscle Cars is built off of grit and driving skills, and this is built off of a computer program.
Every team says the same thing. We just want to make the playoffs.
I don't know how I got into the commercial. Let me mute this a little bit. Skip.
So there you have it. That is how the 8 autonomous racing cars from teams all around the world will use cutting-edge technologies such as artificial intelligence, innovative sensor technologies, and powerful computing to create high-performance vehicles that are capable of making decisions, perceiving their surroundings, and most importantly, lapping the Yas Marina circuit here in Abu Dhabi without human intervention. For the
Let's go into Apple, okay? Apple Vision Pro headset production and canceled update. Headset sales tank in the US. $3,500 for a device that I have no idea how does it have any impact in anything that I'm doing productively, business-wise, creatively, or even with my family. $3,500 went down the toilet. I never liked these things anyway because it was like an expensive novelty piece because I didn't really see any reason for it. You want to say, oh, you want it just because you have it is a waste of money. I paid a lot of money for the privilege of getting an Apple Vision Pro brand new February, and all in with optical inserts and taxes. I financed a little over $3,900 for a 256 gig version of the headset. A day or so ago, I made a mistake that I'm sure many early adopters are familiar with. I looked up how much it's selling for on eBay, and I already know that you was upset because this device doesn't have no significant value in our real lives, right? So what I'm going to say, let's say Steve Jobs, right? I'm going back to Steve Jobs, but because he created something that changed the game. He put computers together with phones, right? Computers together with phones with cameras. And that created a phenomenon. That's just something that any and everybody needed just to function. Why? Because it's a basic phone call. It's taking a basic transmission of communication and enhancing it with other apps and opportunities that you can create. I didn't see that with this. I can't see somebody walking around in the time of recession with a $3,500 pair of glasses. That's a novelty piece that does not enhance your job, does not enhance your family lifestyle, does not give you time back. It's a waste. So I didn't see the value of it. And obviously, the masses didn't see a value of it. So it is what it is. So I know he was so disappointed. I know he was disappointed. Look at this. From February 28th, it was going at $3,348, and now 2 days ago, it's selling for $2,400. Is it worth the time and effort to be the first one to get what's first? That's the question. On that note, thank you for tuning in to Beyond the Blockchain. I am your host, Abby Harris. I do this each and every day. We talk about things that's happening in the Web3 crypto space. Make sure you tune in. Tell a friend, tell a friend. Peace.
Our tracks on the beat.
meetup in New York City. I am Abby Harris, your host today.
What up? Welcome to Beyond the Blockchain. I am your host, Abby Harris.